And I'll start with your big findings about the global fashion industry. You say it suffered a 90% profit decline in 2020. We only have to look at the fallout in certain parts of the high street to see that this has been felt unevenly by various players within fashion.
Exactly right, Anna. As you see, 93% decline in profit in the industry. We also estimate that 73% of the industry is now value destroying. But I think the point that you make is very pertinent, that some sectors or some elements of this industry have been more resilient. And we see 4 traits of greater resilience in this sector. Number 1, digital. The players who've been able to pivot to this channel and drive more sales through digital. Secondly, Asia, and exposure to Asia has been a big driver of resilience. Exposure to sports, athleisure, casual wear segments has been another driver of resilience. And finally, luxury. So those are probably the 4 areas where we've seen, relatively speaking, more resilience in the backdrop of an industry that has suffered quite badly through COVID-19, with revenues expected to be down 15 to 30% this year.
Are the ones that collapsed then, Anita, are they going to be the ones that didn't invest sufficiently in a pivot to online?
We're definitely seeing that one of the traits and characteristics of resilience has been digital participation. So the players that were either born online and online pure players, or the players who had invested ahead in digital and therefore really able to build on their e-com infrastructure and capabilities to drive and capitalize on this huge step change in digital that we've seen. We've seen 7 years worth of online participation and growth in 7 months. And that's a big step up. And we also do expect from all of our research that majority of that step up is expected to remain sticky, i.e. consumers have adopted new habits around digital discovery and shopping, and we expect a lot of that to continue.
It's difficult to give up that new behaviour then, Anita. You mentioned something earlier about 73%, and this is a stat from your report, 73% of the industry is value destroying. And that figure was 60% back in 2019. I wonder how that compares to other sectors. That seems like a very high percentage of an industry to be value destroying, even pre-pandemic.
I think the trait we see across all sectors, we are seeing a growing trend around polarization of performance, where you've got the winners, or the super winners, as we call them, on the one hand, and the rest of the industry. What we do see in fashion and luxury is that this trend of share of businesses that are value destroying has been on a rise. And unsurprisingly, with the distress that was caused by COVID, and particularly with the lockdowns and stores remaining closed, that sort of suddenly exacerbated the trend in this industry.
Why do you think that was? Why such a big chunk of the industry value destroying? What is it that doesn't work in the way that this industry is set up to function?
So I think what we're seeing is this industry, in terms of consumer needs and consumer sort of discovery, etc., is increasingly becoming much more global. And what we're seeing is winning brands with winning balance sheets that are, really responsive to consumer needs around brand, product, price, are really the ones that are doing well. I think I go back to the themes of resilience that I talked about: digital, Asia, sports, athleisure, luxury. So all of these segments have been doing well, and the winners here have been sort of really powering ahead.
Yeah, I think athleisure is just what we call clothes now, Anita, isn't it? It seems to be the only thing anybody has the occasion to wear now. TV presenters, perhaps one slight exception. Let me ask you about the mood amongst executives in this sector then. You've done this research talking to top industry execs and included in that 320 fashion professionals. You must have hit them at rock bottom, I suppose, to do this research at such a tough time. What are the messages of hope and recovery that you're seeing? Where are the bright spots?
Look, I think the industry executives are clear that next year will be a year of recovery, but it won't be a year of full recovery. So they still do expect to be living with the virus, as they say, and its consequences. There are some silver linings in this. Silver lining number 1 really is the whole shift towards digital. And while this was a trend that the industry had, prioritized, and as we've looked at this over the years, digital has always been a trend that businesses have been, prioritizing on their strategic agenda. But it's really clear now that this is a channel here that is sort of first and foremost in terms of access to consumers and also the growth channel. So we do think that businesses are actually, and executives are positive around this opportunity and being able to pivot to it, not just as a means to serve consumers, but also as a means to digitize and simplify their entire business model. So I think that's going to be a big trend. And the other thing that the executives are embracing is really the whole shift towards sustainability. Again, a trend that was accelerating pre-COVID, but COVID has only heightened the importance of sustainability. And if anything, broadened the definition to include workers' health, employee health, and also that of the supply chain partners. So we do think themes such as digital sustainability will absolutely drive greater focus and attention.